This all went down when I was a sophomore in college. After freshman year, I didn't get a dorm spot, and honestly, I scrambled hard to find somewhere off campus to live. I ended up in this co-op, 3 houses, all connected, right near campus. Not exactly what I wanted, but it was cheap, and I had a bike, so the extra travel didn't really bother me. Looking back, I guess I was just trying to settle, keep things simple. But man, I had no clue what I was stepping into. Most of the people living there were students like me. But then there was this one woman. She stuck out right from day one. Older, maybe late 50s, gray hair pulled back tight, and this slight limp she didn't bother hiding. She barely talked, and that blank, empty stare, it was like she wasn't really here, you know? Like she was somewhere else, locked inside her own head. One night, I caught her standing in the kitchen, not cooking, not eating, just standing there, motionless, like a statue. When our eyes met, I swear, it felt like she was staring straight through me, like she knew things no one should. I've never felt so exposed in my life. A few days later, I was doing homework in my room, trying to ignore the weird vibes. Then I looked out the window and saw her, right in the middle of the street, just standing there. Not walking, not moving, just staring. I waved, probably like an idiot, and she jumped up and down like she'd seen her favorite show on TV. Then she took off running back toward her place. That moment hit me hard. I'd basically just told her where I lived, and I felt exposed, like I stepped into her world and didn't know the rules. I asked one of my housemates about her, hoping for some answers. He just shrugged and said, "She's always been here. Best to ignore her." Nobody really knew much. Some called her kooky, harmless even, but I couldn't shake it. Something felt off. There was this coldness about her, like she didn't belong, or worse, like she wanted something from me. I kept telling myself to just ignore it, but deep down, I was scared. After some time, I almost forgot about her, and I couldn't see her anywhere. But one night I felt like I was careless about myself, so I decided I was going outside for a little walk to think about it. When I opened my door, she was right there, standing silently like she'd been waiting for me. It was past midnight. She didn't say a word, didn't blink. She just turned around and walked away, like I was the one who'd surprised her. My heart was pounding so loud, I thought she might hear it. I swear, every hair on my neck stood straight up. After that, I barely slept. Every little noise, every shadow felt like a threat. Then one night, I woke up to this soft bumping coming from my closet. My skin crawled. I lay there frozen, waiting for the sound to get louder. I had to face it. I forced myself out of bed, took a deep breath, and ripped open the closet door. And there she was, one of my ties wrapped tight around her neck, a kitchen knife clenched in her hand. I screamed like I never had before. She lunged at me, fought like a wild animal, kicking, biting, screaming. My housemates came running and helped me hold her down until the police showed up. They found my room key on her. Weeks later, we learned the truth. She was the property manager's sister, mentally ill, left to live in an empty room because nobody wanted to deal with her. I blame him for what happened. I honestly could have died that night. I'm graduating soon. I'll miss college, sure, but I'll never forget her. No matter how far I get from that house, I still feel her eyes on me, watching, waiting. And sometimes, late at night, I wonder if I'll ever really be free of that feeling. For most of my life, I was never in one place for too long. Moving around was just normal. New towns, new faces, same routine. But a couple years ago, I found a place that actually looked decent. A suburban called Cul-de-sac. Quiet, clean, full of people who mow their lawns on time and wave at you from their porches. I was the youngest homeowner on the block, and at first, everyone treated me like a new puppy, curious, polite, but a little distant. Then the invites started coming. Barbecues, potlucks, street cleanups, it all felt overly coordinated. But I figured they were just a tight-knit neighborhood. I didn't see the problem yet. The first barbecue was picture perfect. Matching chairs, matching name tags, matching smiles. Every single person brought something in identical Tupperware containers. And when I asked about the recipe, they all gave the same answer. It's just a family thing. I noticed they all waited for me to try the food first. Felt silly thinking it at the time, but something in their eyes made me hesitate. They kept inviting me, weekly, and it wasn't really optional. If I didn't show, someone would knock on my door and say, "We missed you out there." Once, I made up a fake work thing and didn't attend, and later that night, I found a casserole dish on my doorstep with a note. "We brought it to you anyway." It was still warm, but I was sick of it, so I didn't eat it. A neighbor named Dennis, older guy, lived 2 houses down, pulled me aside during one of those events. His voice was low, and he said, "Don't ask questions, just smile and blend in." I asked him what he meant, but he just raised his eyebrows like it was obvious. That was the last time I saw him at a barbecue. The next week, someone said he'd moved, but it was so weird because every day I passed near his house, but I never saw him packing, and I got curious. I went walking late one night and saw lights on in a garage down the block. Inside, 3 of my neighbors were standing around a folding table, sorting what looked like raw meat into plastic bags. It didn't look like pork or beef. When one of them saw me, he smiled and waved. I just smiled back and took off to my house as fast as I could. I couldn't think about it anymore, so I finally confronted the woman who lived next door. Asked her straight up, "What do you people actually do at these barbecues?" She didn't blink, just smiled softly and said, "It's not about what we do. It's about who we feed." Then she closed the door gently in my face. 2 days later, I got a flyer slipped under my door. Big block letters, "Mandatory Neighborhood Barbecue, honoring our newest permanent resident." Underneath was my name. I just wanted to throw it in the trash and not respond. But someone had checked the box that said, "Attending." I couldn't take it anymore, so I packed a bag that night and drove until my tank was empty. Never went back, never filed a complaint, didn't even break the lease. And even if I called the police, I don't think they would have believed me. Some places don't want you to belong. They want you trapped. And now, looking back, I realized Dennis wasn't meant to leave. He was waiting for someone to take his place, and maybe that someone was me.